ThunderCats!
Thunder! Thunder! Thunder!
Hey, how are you? I'm Larry Kenny, the voice of Lion-O, here today for my good friends Ryan and David. You may know if you listen to the podcast Radical Retro Rewind.
I love it. All of it.
Radical Retro Rewind.
She even looks older.
You like my art collection?
Yeah, we've heard that one before, Mummy.
What is it? I heard him shout.
Oh yeah, ThunderCats! Ho!
Who you calling a hoe? Welcome back, Bunglers, to another episode of ThunderCats Reviews, brought to you by the Radical Retro Rewind podcast. As always, I am your host, Radical Ryan Hunter, here with everyone's favorite brother and mine, David, for another episode. Well, hello. Is today a red letter day? According to Mumm-Ra, it is.
Is that what he said? I couldn't figure out what he said. A red letter day?
Every moment red-lettered. I'll chase them anyway. I can't. It's too early in the morning.
The scarlet letter from Mumm-Ra today?
Well, maybe Cheetar would get that scarlet letter.
So, David, of course, we're still trying to work out if we're going to be doing mail in a separate episode.
Yes, I do mail.
And he does mean M-A-L-E. You know, don't be confused. Don't be confused, Bunglers, especially around here. Again, we might do that thing that we split up the mail. But guess who we heard from again? It's Kostas, our Greek bungler. He says, no better way to start a Friday at work. Once again, thank you for the company and the trip down memory lane, my friends. And of course, thank you for another shout out. Of course, Kostas, thank you for your support. Honestly, I don't mind if you don't respond to my silly comments, but I really appreciate that you responded to that one. So he was saying, what if you do a what if section every now and then? That would be a cool thing to have on the podcast. You guys, as well as Zach, know the series very well, so it would be cool to have your thoughts on some storylines and how they could have unfolded differently. So last episode, Kostas asked us what we would think of Mumm-Ra staying gone, you know, a little while after the loon attack. So I do love this idea of a what if, and I'm starting to think of little what ifs that we could ask the Bunglers and David and myself. So I love that. He does give the whole rating scale from Matesh and his cubs lives on, because Kostas gave Time Switch 2.5 hoes and Soundstones 3.5 hoes.
Do you remember how many hoes we gave it? Were we around there?
I think we gave Time Switch a little higher. And
like 4 hoes?
Soundstones, I think, was around then. Yeah, I think Soundstones was around 3. So as for the Bunglers, I like to cover all my bases. So for Time Switch, I would give it to writer Sandy Fries. She wrote some really good episodes, but in this one, she overlooked a couple of glaring storylines from season 1. And the Bunglers for Sword in the Stones would probably be the mutants. They are so unappreciative of Ultraman, and I wish Rotaro would show up and send Slive back to the kitchen. You know, he is very good at cooking.
But he has asthma. Sometimes the vapors. I think he deserves to go back in the kitchen.
So David and I are going to do a mail episode to get to Matesh's and lovely Leah's. We have a lot of mail to get to. So we are going to be doing a special bonus. Actually, David, we've been working out trying to get a special guest on the podcast as well soon. So that's another little bonus for the Bunglers to look out. And it's not Zach. We love Zach. He will be back, of course, but it's a different special guest.
Can you let the cat out of the bag? It's a scheduling issue. It's not for lack of wanting to be on our podcast.
That's very true. So we hope to announce that soon. It's a fun little part of the fandom. And David, we got 2 episodes today to get through. So let's start with our first day of the Eclipse with the original air date of October 2nd of 1987. It is season 2, episode 84. Thank you again to the ThunderCats Wikipedia for the synopsis. And also thank you to our lovely Leah for the audio she supplies us.
Thank you.
The day of the total eclipse has arrived, and any spell that Mumm-Ra casts will last until the next eclipse. He declares a day of decay on the Cats Lair, causing it to fall apart. And David, funny enough, this episode is airing close to the actual eclipse that's happening. This is so funny. Zach messaged me about a month ago that with his calculations, he felt like there was going to be an actual eclipse close to the day of the eclipse episode. And here we are, David. April 8th, North America will experience its second total eclipse in 7 years. The moon will glide over the surface of the sun, causing a shadow over the earth below. So along this path, the world will turn dark as night. So this might be our last recording, Bunglers. If you don't hear from us again,
well, if you go down the rabbit hole, we want to go down the rabbit hole since considering Mumm-Ra's drawing some power from this eclipse. The last eclipse I believe, was in 2017. That created an X mark. So now basically what they're trying to say is that on one of the previous eclipse or darkness on one portion of the United States, and this one is actually the opposite, creating an X, like you're Xing out the United States.
And he does not mean X-Men 97 premiering on Disney Plus.
Please don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on the X-Men now. Original voice characters, trying.
So David might be the only host left because we calculated off camera as like a joke. We were seeing where the X would land, and I unfortunately am in the darkness and David is in the light. So
I did tell him to give me all the passwords to all of the we don't have a Patreon or anything, but I could always start that up later. The Eclipse Fund. No, but
the Eclipse Fund. And you can have Mumm-Ra on it as the official logo. But try not to use his image, though. WB might be a little mad.
Well, we'll work it out. Don't worry. But passcodes. Remember passcodes, Ryan. When we're done recording, passcodes.
That being said, welcome back, Mumm-Ra. It was 2 episodes without you. We're so glad to see you. And what do we get, David? Laughs and laughs and
Did he drop his dog, though?
Yes, Mom at one point was mad at him because I think he was picking him up, dropping him, pulling him.
So Mumm-Ra is really feeling himself. He's doing one of his normal grandiose. So he's walking around. He happens to show which happens to be right in the sarcophagus chamber, right against the wall. There is
a mural.
Yes, a mural. There's some writing, and it's foretelling of the total eclipse of the sun or the total eclipse of the heart.
This is a special day, my mutt, my horrendous cow. A red letter day. A day for which I have waited 100 years. Why? My pretty, putrid pet. That is why. Every 100 years, Third Earth enjoys a total eclipse of the sun. And any spell I choose to cast on this one day will last until the next eclipse. Today is the day of that eclipse, my dreadful dog. And we will make today the day of decay.
That's right, David. He tells my hideous hound that he waited 100 years for this eclipse as he points to the mural. And then he also calls him my dreadful dog. But at the same time, he is kind of just annoying Mama because he does kind of bark at him and just is like, what is going on?
The another thing that strikes me is the disdain that Mumm-Ra has for Third Earth. Because this comes up again. This is another time. He refers to Third Earth as a miserable microcosm. So he's here. He's seated in Third Earth. This is his place of this is his residency as in the HOA.
His Las Vegas residency. He's going to start doing a show.
Yes, he's near Mariah, Britney. He took over Celine Dion's old spot. And he did go see J-Lo. He does know her. If for people that don't, he does know her. Unlike Mariah. Carey does not know. She uses
my vocals underneath her voice. Mumm-Ra's still upset about J-Lo using his vocal.
She stole my vocals on Jenny from the Block.
Every now and then it falls apart. Every now and then it falls apart. And I need it now, tonight. And I need the moon more than ever. And if the curse starts tonight, I'll be rid of the ThunderCats forever. And I'll only be bungling it right. You bungler! 'Cause the HOA is forever. Together, we'll take it to the end of the line. This curse is like a shadow on them all of the time. They won't know what to do. They'll always be in the dark, like living in my pyramid and getting off no sparks. The day of decay starts tonight. The day of decay starts tonight. The day of decay starts till once upon a time I had cats in my life. But now the lair is falling apart, Mamat. There's nothing they can do. The day of decay starts tonight. Once upon a time I had cats in my life. But now the lair is falling apart. There's nothing they can say. The day of decay starts tonight. The day of decay starts tonight.
He calls it the Day of Decay. That actually could be a great album name for like a band, right?
That
Day
could be
of
a
Decay.
good. That could be a good zombie movie title too.
Day of Decay. You're right.
Ancient spirits of evil, grant me your special power on this day of the eclipse. Turn your magical might against Cats Lair. Pour stone to crumble and steel to corrode, systems to fail and friends to quarrel. Make today the ThunderCats' last day on the third earth. Make today the day of decay!
So Mumm-Ra's grandiose, so he shows his disdain for Third Earth. He comes up with this idea that he's going to use the power of the solar eclipse to cast a spell that will last into the next solar eclipse, which could be 100 years. So his idea is to create decay on
the ThunderCats. Anything that they make, basically, right?
No, he really made it more about Cats Lair.
Well, the Thunder Tank is it because it was in Cats Lair at first?
Well, you don't ever hear about the Tower of Omens collapsing.
That's another thing, David. It seems like these writers go between there are other ThunderCats to let's forget the Tower of Omens ever exists for this episode. Because I kept saying that. Where is the tower? Where is Linkso going? Oh,
now, what he should have done was given Linkso his sight back, and then that would have messed up ThunderCats forever. They would never went to Darkside. They couldn't, he's the breakout star of this season, does everything. He never gets Aloro's power over him because he can't see.
My sight, no!
Well, he uses the Blair Board.
Not again, I don't want my eyes. Yes, the whole thing is Mumm-Ra's laughing and he declares today will be the official day of decay. Everything will crumble, rot, and rust.
And then he doesn't say that. That's part of the decaying process, but he then alerts the mutants and
the lunatics
to be ready because Cats Lair is coming down.
Finally, he's figured out how to destroy this monstrosity, as he's called it. So we get to Cats Lair, and Lion-O and Panthro are in the main chamber. Panthro is working on something above on his scaffolding thing that he has. Scaffolding thing that he has sometimes, and they just had checked this, right? And all of a sudden, something comes loose. And Panthro's like, oh, I just checked this. What is happening? But at the same time, they're talking about the solar eclipse. And Lion-O's going, this is going to be something, Panthro. And he's like, it's actually kind of creepy, Lion-O, if you think about it, or something like that.
I've checked or replaced all the power circuits, Panthro. Everything's good as new.
All right. There are just a couple of little valves up here that need checking. Then we're done for the day.
And then we can concentrate on our observations of the total eclipse. It's really strange. I've never seen the moon shine brightly in the middle of the day.
It'll get stranger, Lion-O. Wait till you see the moon cover the sun. Now that's strange. It'll be like a permanent twilight. Kind of spooky.
And at the same time, we cut back to Mumm-Ra David, and he's going, "Come on! Come to the moon! To the moon!" Or whatever. He's screaming to the moon.
Hurry up! Come on!
Come on, Toshi. Hey, Toshi, come on.
Come on, what are you waiting for? He asks. What are you waiting for?
Come. What are you waiting for? Let the disintegration of Cats Lair begin!
So before we get into it, how are you feeling about this plot to begin with? I mean, we'll get into bungling later, but I mean, this is a decent, smart plot. Or would you have called a different curse upon the ThunderCats? Mange.
So here lies my problem with our episode. If I say something, it's going to totally just lay all my cards on the table, so I can't say something. So what I would say is I would have probably chosen something different as a curse or a spell. Something even simpler, something that would have solved everybody's problems. Should I just lay it out? Should I just lay it out for the listeners, Ryan? Okay, I would have gone full on Disney sleeping spell for 100 years. Willa, I would have cast the spell on everybody. The Burbles, the Maiden Warriors, anybody good on the whole planet. You got the power of the sun, the moon, whatever you've got going on there. I would have put a sleeping spell on them for 100 years, and they would perish. They wouldn't be eating, so they would perish. That would have been the end of it. You would have been able to keep Cats Lair as a secondary home. Maybe put a new crypt in.
Poppies will put them to sleep. Poppies.
I mean, wouldn't you going full on Disney? A Sleeping Beauty?
Oh, at first I thought you were going to say he was going to put the vines around the Cat's Lair, like that end of the Sleeping Beauty.
Well, think about that. Even if the spell preserved them for 100 years, he had 100 years to have the mutants gather them up, lock them up someplace, put them in bandages, whatever he wants to do to keep them.
I actually think he would have, if we're going with this, which is great, talk about what if, he probably would have made the lunatics and the mutants sleep too. Put everyone to sleep, so he doesn't.
Then
have
he'd be
to
really
with
quiet
anybody.
and happy. He'd be happy for 100 years with total silence. Or if it was in his power, why wouldn't he cast a spell on himself to make him Mumm-Ra the Ever Living permanently for 100 years?
Because I think it had to be a curse. Would that be really a curse?
I don't know.
He put it on himself?
Did he say any spell? Didn't he?
Ooh, he needs to get with the charmed ones, call upon the ancestors.
That's where I'm at. I would have come up with something a little more creative. So I'm gonna go a little off kilter here a little bit. So do you know like how in like for example, Interview with a Vampire and some of the other movies where older vampires get newer members because they're out of touch with society, they're out of touch with what's on trend, they're out of touch with the new language, the new world for them. I feel like part of Mumm-Ra's problem is he thinks too in an old way. It would have been more inventive than to not put a spell of decay on Cats Lair and come up with something a little more creative, a little more inventive.
Are you trying to say he's out of touch and
he's out of touch? He's out of touch. He's out of touch. But I'm out of my head when you're not around.
Poor Mumm-Ra, you calling Hall & Oates upon him now.
I'm calling Hall & Oates on him.
So you're just saying Mumm-Ra needs to just give it up and get a newer liaison to the public and come up with better spells.
He needs to cut a new board member for the HOA. He needs to change the CC&Rs, the rules that regulate the HOA to come up with something new.
But then again, this is one of those things where it's 100 years, so you get one shot at these plots. You're right. So I get it, David. If you get one shot at this plot, you should make it good.
Listen, I often say say, and you know it, I often say, if you're gonna, like the Thundercats like to say recently, if you're gonna do it, let's do it.
Yeah.
If you're going to go for it, then go for it. Don't put in these little semi-half-hearted. He really, the way he thought this was like the best thing ever. Something simple would have been put them all to sleep. All of my enemies sleep. A sleeping spell.
Unless he thinks the Snarfs wouldn't.
Who cares? What are they going to do? But what are they going to do?
Well, you've seen them do it.
You can't reverse a spell of 100 years.
You know what, though? Somehow Snarf would have put the sword in Lion-O's hand, and it would have awoken everybody.
Or what about, we all know on Third Earth, why didn't they ask Mumm-Ra to help? Can't Mumm-Ra draw on the power of the Eclipse, too?
I think they don't even remember Mumm-Ra exists until she comes back. That's the whole thing. She don't even exist, basically. If you're not around, that's it. The Tower of Omen's not around. You don't.
If you're not gonna do it, then you're not gonna do it.
If you're not gonna do it, then let's do it. So that aside, the Burbles are under attack. The poor Burbles. Oh my god, and their weird penis building. Do you always notice that they always have that? And I know this because, David, I tried to design that new, like, Chitara's Burble Gold Village shirt that we're working on. The Burble Village, a lot of them have, their huts are a long tower with two smaller towers at the base of it. I'm getting very, like, Little Mermaid VHS cover with, like, the way that these...
Are you talking about having a mushroom head?
And they're mushrooms, yes, and they're mushroom heads.
But those are mushrooms, Ryan.
Okay.
Pervert, you pervert.
The Burbles are going, so...
Well, I mean, they do multiply quite often. They have to go to different planets, so maybe they are oversexed.
God, even their buildings have to be sexualized. I can't stop thinking, Lion-O, about sex.
Oh my god. That's terrible.
Oh my god.
This is Roverville. The mutants are attacking our village. We need help. Come quickly, please.
Come on, Panthro. Roverville needs help.
They're under attack, so Panthro and Lion-O go in the tank, and as they're going, sounds, Lion-O goes, I thought you just checked this, Panthro.
There's a cool shot of Panthro's face in the Thunder Tank. Did you notice that?
There's a few shots of him, like later when he beats the thing and it gets closer and closer to him with like a drum.
I thought you said you tuned up the Thunder Tank.
I did, but she sure is handling funny. Look up ahead.
Welcome to the party, Thundercats. Your farewell party.
So as they're trying to go there, the mutants attack them. Jackalman and Monkeyin, I want to say, and they're attacking them. It's supposedly the Thunder Tank is supposed to be down, but Jackalman goes, the tank looks as mean as ever to me.
The Thunder Tank looks as mean as ever to me. So much for Mumm-Ra's Day of Decay.
Because somehow it's still running even though it's rusting.
So there is a point where I guess Panthro like floods the engine with extra Thundrillium so that to give it a boost, which I guess propels it a little further. And that's what they're saying. They're criticizing Mumm-Ra, like maybe he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Because there's that Gem and the Holograms commercial moment when they're out of control and they're crashing through the Burbles' penis buildings and they're about to go over like a ravine or something. And they're like, no, it's the Gem. Like they're going over the edge.
I can't slow her down. She's picking up speed. We're out of control.
Turn, Panthro, turn! I can't budge this. The hatch is stuck.
We're still accelerating, and we're heading straight for a blasted ravine.
We'll be right back after these messages. And now, back to Gem.
And then by the commercial after, they make it over the ravine. They basically destroy the poor Burble village, like I said, and then we get Robert Bill going, maybe I can help you, Panthro, because he's hitting the thing. He's like, broken. And it goes like a drum beat, close up, boom, useless, close up to Panthro's face, boom, with a drum beat.
What in great Thundera? This blasted mega condenser is shot, corroded, rotten, rusted, useless. There's something strange going down here, Lion-O. All these equipment failures. And we know we check everything regularly. Routine maintenance is the basis of an efficient operation.
Perhaps we can help you repair the Thunder Tank.
Thanks, Rover Bill. Panthro, you stick with the tank. Do the best you can. I'll contact the lair. Tigra and Chitara can bring us the parts in the feliner. Then, we'll go looking for some answers.
You got it.
It's so weird that ThunderCats, and I love these little moments, but they randomly do these little, choices in their episodes. Like the countdown. Remember the countdown on the screen when Zach was here? This is just like, Panthro, close up again. Boom. It's like cute little animation things. So they open up the tank and rust is everywhere. Something is happening. And at the same time, Tigra and Chitara are at Cats Lair, and they are trying to keep up with everything that's happening.
And they're under attack as well.
I don't understand this at all. Why would the head just suddenly stop scanning?
Check these rotators. They look like they haven't been changed in years. Well, I guess we'll just have to get these fixed. Then we can jumpstart the power and retract the bridge.
Talk about a series of disasters.
They're on top of the head, matter of fact. They're trying to get the head to work at Cat's Lair, and the lunatics start to attack them.
And then Chitara's like, how come our early defenses did not detect them coming? And then they end up going into Cat's Lair, and then this is where the lunatics start bombarding Cat's Lair and breaking it down, and the bridge does not extends out and it stays stuck from the beginning.
Is this when Tigra said, and how didn't you get a vision, Chitara? How about that, Chitara? That doesn't require any Cat's Lair powers.
It'd be really funny since I'm going to be honest with you, since I think the next episode really just totally goes off into a parallel universe.
Comedy.
Yeah, it's a parody. What if the Cat's Lair falls apart completely, which it pretty much does, and they have to live at the Tower of Omens and realize how the other 3 ThunderCats live.
No defenses,
waiting for Skytomb to just come by and just knock them over like a chess piece.
And there's no lights ever because Linkso's always in the dark, so all the screens.
Because he can't see anything, it doesn't matter, so they don't know what's going on.
We live in darkness, Mumm-Ra.
He hits us with the braille board when you're not around.
The braille board, by the way, we find out is just a thought in your mind. Did you know that, David?
I like that premise, but anyway.
Chitara and Tigra are gonna draw. Wow, I'm really getting this accent today.
Well, your shirt says New York on it.
They're gonna draw the lunatics away from the lair. So Tigra goes one way with Red Eye, and Chitara gets chased by.
And Tugmug is like, I'm going to get Chitara. She can't outrun Tugmug. I am a pervert.
Again, remember you said, my cousin Vinny.
Yeah.
I am a pervert from Plunder. No.
Let's split up. We'll shake them off, then meet back at the lair and try to figure out what's happening.
You take Tigra, I'll take Chitara. Oh, yes, I'll really bowl that ThunderCat over.
One of the trivia Zach gave us, in one of the earlier episodes that I recorded off camera because it was later on, was that Tugmug's original design, David, was he was supposed to have, basically tree trunk legs. Those were supposed to be fleshy, chunky legs that he had that were gonna, help him jump up. I prefer better that metallic as opposed to elephant legs or something like that.
They would have made him more grotesque.
Yeah, I mean, truly. But Chitara plays him. She jumps over this, like, I guess she figures it's going to be like a collapsing.
So she basically finds like a quicksand sort of thing and quickly puts like leaves and branches and stuff over it to make it look like it's something that you can get over.
And she ends up doing one of those, what'd you call it, like...
Catch me if you can. She's like, does the catch me if you can, though. She runs back to him like, okay, you think you can catch me? Let's go.
He says he's going to pull her over, though, at one point. I'm going to pull her over. And she ends up doing a jump, a leap with her staff. And he ends up jumping and hitting at the last second into the mud. And I thought he was sinking forever, but she tells Tigra as they're running back, go back to the lair, that he'll be out in a second.
Tugmug is stuck in the mud, but it won't hold him for long.
And it's only a matter of time before Red Eye is back in action. Let's get back to the lair and do what we can to protect it.
Come in, Cats Lair. Come in. Oh, it's no use. The line is dead.
All our communication channels are out.
Sure enough, David, they get back to the Lunatacker, but we cut to poor Lion-O. He's in the mushroom house with the Burbles, and he's trying to communicate with them on their CV machine or whatever that is. And he's like, it's no use. He's trying to contact the lair.
First the tank, now the lair. There's no logical explanation for all these disasters. This has to be Mumm-Ra's evil work. I'm going to pay a visit to the pyramid and stop all this nonsense at its source.
They cut back, and the walls of the Cats Lair are literally rotting away. And I do love the animation because it's
everything's starting to collapse. So at that point, Lion-O deduces that the Thunder Tank collapsing, the Cats Lair is falling apart and rotting, that this must be Mumm-Ra's doing, and he's going to go to the pyramid.
But he says, Sword of Omens, tell me something I don't know.
Tell me something I don't know. Tell me something I don't know. Isn't that a song?
That was fantastic, yeah. That is a song. So that's fantastic. He's like, no, Sword of Omens. I don't want to know about the lair collapsing. I don't want to know about Chitara, by the way, with a hose. At one point, she is trying to put the fires out at the Cats Lair with a hose. And Tigra and Chitara are doing everything in this episode. He says, tell me something I don't know. And he says, you know what? I'm going to the Black Pyramid, David. And when he gets there, just like Sandora last episode, where is Mumm-Ra? He's having a moment because he's not readily available. He's like, Mumm-Ra's not here. And then he goes, oh, but this mural is here.
He calls for sight beyond sight at that point. And then it shows him.
Oh, this David, the Rosetta Stone? Sword of Omens, tell me what this says. Like, this was amazing. He literally gets translation. It is the iPhone. Take a picture of a sign and it will translate it for you.
Yeah.
I mean, hey.
The Swiss Army knife of weapons.
So he reads this and he sees that basically until the next eclipse is going to happen, this curse will befall, whoever's in the... So he runs outside and he's like, what if I
Well, wait a minute. Mumm-Ra confronts him at this point. He's like, I'm behind you.
This is very strange. No sign of Mumm-Ra. What? The sword. It's trying to tell me something. What is this? What does it mean?
Sword of Omens, show me the meaning of these strange designs. An evil spell cast during one eclipse will remain in effect until the next eclipse.
And this eclipse, my day of decay, is ending. You'll have to wait another 100 years for this spell to wear off, ThunderCats.
We'll see about that, Mumm-Ra.
Oh, and he's ever-living form.
Yeah, he ain't playing today.
He's like, you thought I was gonna be in my robe, but no.
So he's in his ever-living form, and he's basically telling him there's nothing he can do.
With that sword, okay, Mumm-Ra, I love you, but stop with that stupid sword can't do anything. Yes, it can, Mumm-Ra, and yes, it does.
It just translated everything for him.
I know your diary, Mumm-Ra. I broke your password.
Siri on my iPhone doesn't even do that. She doesn't understand the way I speak, and I've had her since the first iPhone, and she still doesn't get me.
I don't know what you're talking about. So, that's right. So, Mumm-Ra, not having it. We should say, too, by the way, Panthro is still trying to work on the Thunder Tank with Bro-Bear Bill. So, Lion-O does say, maybe I can make my own Eclipse, and he runs outside of the Black Pyramid. Now, remember, again, this is one of the easy times where you could just go inside. Not walking through the tunnels, not going to the gondola ride of the Pirates of the Caribbean. He literally just walks in and goes, oh, Mumm-Ra's not here at the moment, but...
Maybe Mumm-Ra left the door open. I'll leave the light on for you.
But he does, David, because he comes out of his little window that he finally has recently, that little lookout point, as Lion-O's in front of the pyramid going, Sword of Omens!
No, he does the Thundercats ho, create the symbol, which then makes the Thundercats think he needs help, but really what he's trying to do is block out the sun with the Sword of Omens.
Maybe I can create my own eclipse. Thunder! Thundercats! Ho!
Lion-O's in trouble, and we're trapped.
Chitara's like, I can't believe this. We are collapsing, and we still have to help him. Literally,
and then Mumm-Ra's like, you are not.
With that sword.
He's shooting him in the back with some magic, whatever, lasers, whatever he uses, I don't know.
He lifts the claw glove, David, and the beam shoots Mumm-Ra in the head. He gives him a headache. Because it's not in his eyes.
It looks like he went right to his third eye. On his
right forehead. In the forehead, like a laser and he
gave him an instant lobotomy. I don't know.
Oh my god.
So he uses the claw shield, reflects Mumm-Ra's magic back at him while he is propelling the sword.
Give in, Thundercat, your puny sword that cannot blot out the power of the sun!
So this is where it gets a little bit dicey for me. Are they trying to say that he was holding it and the cat symbol was going further and further into the stratosphere, into space, where it would block out and make a solar eclipse?
Or it had to be long enough that it fooled the eclipse. You're fooling the eclipse itself, Lion-O. It's not 100 years. The eclipse will be fooled. You have to hold it long enough for it. It's just, I guess, the black activates it, and then it comes back to normal.
Is that a clapper? Clap on, clap off?
Yeah, that's actually what I thought. Clap on, clap off. That pitiful sword. But guess what? Mumm-Ra does it. That pitiful sword does it. So, magically, Chitara says, I can't believe what I'm seeing.
I'm not sure I believe what I'm seeing.
Looks like you'll have to wait another 100 years for your next shot, Mumm-Ra.
Do you think, David, she was already trying to redesign possible gold fixtures? Because that didn't rot, did it?
At the end of the episode, she's like, here's the schematics and the blueprints for the new Cats Lair. Chitara, that's not your bedroom, that's the ballroom. No, that's my bedroom.
There will be no library any longer.
Chitara, why did you put me and the Thunder Kittens into the broom closet? That's your new bedrooms.
You know, you really need to learn how they do it at the Tower of Omens. You have to rough it a little.
You have to rough it. Lion-O gets the second largest room. I need a place to put all my gold. Panthro, you'll be stuck in the garage. That you have a cot next to the Thunder Tank. You know you love it anyway. You probably kiss it at night.
And where did poor Tigra end up? Tigra, you don't even have a bedroom. I'm sorry. Snarf will be sleeping in the kitchen.
Snarf, you just have to walk. You have to walk the halls all night until you find a place to fall asleep.
Oh, the windowsill.
No, she would never do that. But it would be nice if they put in like a home gym.
Ooh, I actually do love that idea.
Did you not want to see a at the end of this episode like the Cats Lair having Scaffolding and Burbles helping yet again to rebuild it? We didn't get that.
The Burbles are too busy rebuilding their own houses at the moment that were destroyed.
Are you trying to say they're working on their penises?
Penises, yes. They're working on trying to rebuild what was lost to them.
Lionel! Vulcans do not make penises!
Neither do Vulcans!
We do not create penis buildings! Lionel! Take your filthy burbles and go!
Do you not believe it was Panthro himself that built the penis? I saw it with my own eyes!
I didn't think Lionel was like that.
My God. Oh my God. So, our wrap-up is really cute because Lionel's like, wow, everything looks great. Where's Snarf? We haven't seen him all episode.
I hope he didn't get crushed in something.
Yeah, we decide, where's Snarf? Oh, the Thunder Kittens? Oh,
Why haven't we called Mumm-Ra, Linkso, and Bengali to help build this back up? He's got a hammer, doesn't he? Get him working.
Probably hanging off a toothpick at the Tower of Omens. It's all that's left over there.
I don't think anything happened to the Tower of Omens. He specifically put a curse on the Cat's Lair.
So maybe we have our bungle there. Snarf says after today's, the drama, that everyone deserves some kind of magical tea. And we hear a crash in the hole. And Chitara's like, oh God, no, not again. And they run out, and it's actually just Snarf going, oh, I have a clumsy curse on me. I broke some pots and, whatever. So
they make the joke, basically, he says it's my own fault unless Mumm-Ra knows how to put a clumsy curse on somebody. Ha 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 ha.
ThunderCats, woo!
I've checked out the foundation and all the wall beams. There's no structural damage at all.
All the communication channels are open.
If anything, the computers are functioning better than they did before.
Maybe Mumm-Ra's magic did us more good than harm. Let's remember to thank him next time we see him. Say, where's Snarf?
He said that after a day like today, we deserved a little of his style of magic. And is bringing us some Wonderleaf tea.
No, it couldn't be.
Snarf, are you all right? Is anything broken?
Only my pride, along with a few cups.
For a minute there, we thought Mumm-Ra was up to his old tricks.
Unfortunately, I can't blame this on Mumm-Ra, unless he's discovered a clumsiness curse.
Honestly, I do love this. I loved this episode. I don't know if it's because it was something else, but out of 5 hoes, David, I would give it a 3.5, 4.
I'd give it a solid.
He's like, let me see penises. Rotting.
I'm gonna say I love the idea because I'm really a big fan of like the fact that Mumm-Ra has so much time in his hands that he can wait for another 100 years for something to happen, another 1,000 years for a book to appear. This, that. So I kind of like that, and I kind of like love the whole thing of like celestial events and stuff like that. So I'm gonna give it a 3.5 too. But think about our own planet. So we've talked about this before. That third Earth is probably just Earth itself that has been after destruction has come to pass, because the warrior maidens are clearly human beings. They're humans.
Yes.
They're humanoids. They're human. So we have a lot of natural things that happen on our planet all the time that are beautiful and amazing. I mean, anything from
Aurora Borealis
to waterfalls. Don't go chasing them, though.
Don't chase them.
To eclipses. And there's so many things that we have that are so majestic and so awe-inspiring. So the fact that these things happen, yeah, they do happen. They're happening right now. There's stuff around the world that we don't know what's going on that happen all the time that we're not privy to or we don't think about. I always tell people, I often on especially on my Facebook, I take a lot of pictures of the sky when there's different events going on, like storms or beautiful sunrises. And I always write the same thing, look up or looking up, because people don't do that anymore. So yeah, these celestial events do happen. So I'm okay with it happening and Mumm-Ra using it for his devilish, despicable deeds, so that, yeah.
And thank you, Mumm-Ra, for making it coincide with our own day of the eclipse. That's really crazy.
Remember the passcodes, Ryan. Remember the passcodes. I need the passcodes to the accounts.
We will be on the wrong side of history. Oh, David's going to be on the Black Pyramid side. I'm going Cats Lair with Chitara. Oh, David, we got another episode, and
we got something.
Half human, half animal.
Mumm-Ra's slice of captured hook mountains. Ready the Thunder Tank!
Thunder Tank, the ultimate attack machine. Put Lion-O at the controls. Thunder Tank, instantly armed for battle. Laser guns, stun guns, mechanical jaws.
Link the boulders and crush the ThunderCats!
Nothing can stop Thunder Tank. Thunder Tank and figures each sold separately, new from LJN. Half human, half animal.
I'm Mumm-Ra, want the sword of Thundera.
With this secret power ring, battery not included, make Lion-O's eyes light up.
I'm ready.
With Battle-Matic action, you can make them fight with their swords.
The sword is mine, Lion-O. That's what you think, Mumm-Ra. Take that.
ThunderCats, Mumm-Ra and Lion-O with light-up eyes.
ThunderCats.
Each sold separately, new from LJN.
So I'm calling this next episode, what am I calling this one? I'm just going to name it Jump the Shark.
Not Uber Eats?
Jump the Shark. If there was an episode that jumped the shark, this would be it. First of all respect. I love the writing. I love the voice actors. I love the premise of the show. We love the show. Clearly, 30-something years later, we're still talking about it on a podcast. So no offense to anybody, but this episode, the premise behind it, and... I have notes. But anyway.
So this is Sideswiped. Original air date October 3rd of 1987. Season 2, 85. Chilla freezes Snarfer's spaceship as he heads back to the Tower of Omens with Mexican food from the Burbles.
So first of all, there's so many things with this episode. The fact that they sent Snarfer to pick up Mexican food at the Burble Village. Now, this is the same Burble Village that has candy fruit growing from trees. This is like the equivalent to Whoville, like roast beast and stuff like that. This is what they have at the Burble Village. They do not have a Mexican taco truck.
But David, you did mention in our first season of ThunderCats that they might have candied, what did you call it? Meat fruit. Candy meat. They might have candy meat because...
I mean, so you have a few things. You have Snarf and Linkso talking about chili con carne, refried beans.
Guacamole.
First of all, I shout out because my children are Mexican descent. Shout out that I am so glad that the Mexican culture has survived, at least the food, into Third Earth, because there is some good food. Let me tell you something. I love me a good street taco, and I love yum yum yum.
Where's Snarfer?
We decided not to cook today, so he went to order Mexican takeout from Robert Roberto's taco stand at the Burble Village.
Chili con carne.
Refried beans.
Beef enchiladas.
Guacamole.
Enough. You're making my mouth water.
Well, Snarfer should be here soon. Snarf calling Snarfer. Where are you?
Snarfer here. I'm taking the long way around Darkside, Unc. This baby's been overheating. Yep.
You were supposed to be here an eon ago. We're starving.
Well, you sure won't have to worry about it being cold. Ew.
It is Robert Roberto's taco stand. Robert Roberto's taco stand. So, did Robert Roberto bring his taco stand from
another planet? Try the unicorn tacos. They're delicious. we have Hammerhand. Hammerhand's our dishwasher in the back. He gave me a recipe.
Okay, so my other question is, because you mentioned it, how often do they have Robert Roberto's taco stand that Linkso is literally drooling over it, like you said? And they play this music behind him and Snarf that It's unbelievable. Like you said, what did he say?
Chili con carne, refried beans.
Refried beans. Guacamole. And Lion-O's like, oh, you're making me hungry. And then, of course, what is Snarf? My damn nephew was supposed to come here with this Mexican takeout an hour ago.
And you know what the best part is? Why does the other thing is, okay, people, we're just gonna bag on this episode, but even though we actually find it really funny, why does Snarfer have to go into space to travel to go to pick up stuff? The Burble Village, he can't just fly his.
You're right.
He has to go into the deep space to come up to go back to Cats Lair.
That's right. Because the Tower of Omens, we know it's near Darkside, but it's not. The ThunderCats can get to the tower without going through Darkside. So the Burble Village is right next to Cats Lair, I thought. He's saying he's taking the shortcut through Darkside by going through space, but it makes no sense. You're right.
No.
She froze that engine up solid. How am I gonna deliver the Mexican takeout now?
And we do see that Snarf goes, where is that takeout? He's calling Snarfer and he's like, oh, it's kind of, it's warm because, oh, that's right, the ship is overheating because he's so high up that he's like, oh, don't worry, it's gonna still be warm when we get there. I cannot believe this whole thing. I can't believe this whole thing, David, and the fact that all of a sudden Chilla is just driving out in space and she's like, I can't believe they allow these drivers. Like, what?
I don't know why they allow these primitive, slow-moving junkers to clog up the spaces. I'm going to frost the furball.
This is like me when we have what's called snowbirds that come here during the winter time because the weather is so beautiful during the winter time that I'm like, I can't believe that they allow these snowbirds to just drive around and do whatever they want here. They don't even know how to drive.
And she's pissed about it. And then all of a sudden,
like, she can't go any place else in space,
exactly.
Up higher or lower or around in the recesses of space.
And who is she exactly saying they allow these people to be out here? Like, who is she talking to?
HOA, Mumm-Ra, I don't know.
So she's up there, and this is amazing. Who do we have? Return of...
But she freezes Snarfer's ship, and he just starts to plummet towards Third Earth, and then you have...
Back from the Great Penal Planet.
Mandora, back from the Great Penal Planet. Gonna pull you over.
This is Mandora, Evo Chaser First Class, in close pursuit of a hit and run. Over.
What? A space cop? Try this one, Flatfoot.
So, David, what does Chilla say? What? A space cop? Try this one, Flatfoot. So I looked up, because they call her Flatfoot twice in this, David. This is a term from when cops used to walk back the streets from the 20s, when they used to walk back and forth on the street, so they've got flat feet, it said. So this is like a term from the 40s, 50s that they're using for this. So she's a Flatfoot. But, oh my God.
She's like, it's almost like there was going to be a car chase or spaceship chase. She's like,
pull
over. And Chilla's like, oh, fine.
This is hysterical, yeah, because she's kind of like, oh, I guess I have to pull over, right? And then she's going through her pocketbook.
Her purse. She's like, license and registration for the ship. And she's like, oh, I know I have it someplace. Oh, God. Oh, did I leave it in the glove box with the talisman with Alaro? I don't even know where it is. God, did I renew my license?
You know, it's actually, we've been frozen for about 30 years, and I didn't have time to renew my license.
Gosh, officer, was I going too fast?
Too fast, too low, and too bad. I'm writing you up for reckless rocketing and leaving the scene of a sideswipe. Now let me see your license and registration.
It's got to be here somewhere.
I cannot believe she has a pocketbook to begin with, David.
She's looking through it.
I mean, it's hysterical because it's so out there. We love it.
Yeah, I was laughing. I was just laughing. She's like, I'm going to reach into my purse.
I know I have it somewhere.
And then she pulls out an aerosol can, and sprays her. She sprays her throat and freezes her throat. So Chilla's like, I also have this extra can of freeze spray mace in my purse.
Like mace. That was the second best part of this whole thing.
She's like, you never know when a lady goes out by herself that she needs a little extra help, protection, some mace in case.
She's got a whistle. Like a little, where's my whistle, my this? She leaves.
And she's like, bye. What does she say? She says something snarky, something
she
stupid.
Says,
hasta la vista, baby, or something. She literally said.
Hey, hasta, because this is the Mexican takeout episode.
Hasta mañana, Mandora.
Hasta la vista. She does say that. So she takes off with her purse. I love this. Snarfer's on the ground with Mandora. She's got the ice breath. And what happens? He gives her hot sauce. And she's like, what was that? Some kind of special medicine? And he's like, no, it's hot sauce from Taco Bell. It's like, what is the hottest one that they have? Not mild. Do you want any packages, Mandora? Any sauce?
Dorito tacos?
Oh my God. I've never had such a great food. What is that? On the great penile planet, Snarfer.
Yeah.
Holy hot sauce! Chilla's Ice Officer Mandora! Hey! That gives me an idea! Handcuff Mandora! I'll fix you up! I've got just the thing! Yep!
What? Oh, whoa. What was that you gave me? Some new super secret space medicine?
No, it was the hot sauce from the Mexican takeout dinner. I was supposed to be delivering it to the ThunderCats when that Chilla iced my ship.
Come on, we'll deliver it together. I've got some business with the ThunderCats, too.
Snarfer gives her hot sauce, and she said, I will not accept this. This is, Mandora, she's got a one-track mind, but we do cut to SkyTube, and Chilla says, that lady cop had the nerve to give me a ticket. and what does Luna say?
Luna's like, good. I hope she gives you a ticket.
What? Like, and nothing's ever said about it again. She's just like, yes. I hope she gives you that ticket. What?
That lady cop had the nerve to try and give me a ticket.
I hope she does.
What?
With Linkso's Braille board, the ThunderCats can get to us. If we could capture that Braille board, we could design a defense against it.
But I don't see...
The only way Mandora can get to you is to come through to Darkside, and she'll need Linkso and the Braille board to do it.
And when she does, we'll capture both of them and the Braille board.
Exactly!
So again, I don't know what happens in this scene, but I wrote Snarf, the next thing goes, where is the Mexican takeout?
I put Snarf could care less if Mandora dies. He says, where's the Mexican food?
He's like, I'm with Mandora, Uncle Snarf. I don't care who you're with. Linkso's blood sugar's going down. Can you imagine that's what happens? He starts acting,
You know, he gets crazy with the Braille board when he doesn't eat.
Oh my God.
Oh, guess what, Uncle Snap? I got sideswiped by Chilla. Oh, she frosted Mandora. And
where's our Mexican takeout food?
We brought it back on Mandora's bike. Except by now, it's chilly. It's a little joke. Chilly.
Well, first of all, Mandora's very rude.
I have business with the ThunderCats too. I'll take you home. She's like, I'll get your takeout there too.
And Snarfer's loving riding on the back of her
electrocharger. No time for pleasantries, Lion-O.
Yeah, she's like, I don't need to talk to you now. She really is a little bit curt, I would say. Yes, definitely.
She gets worse. It doesn't get better with her.
Welcome, Mandora. It's been a while since...
Sorry, Lion-O. I don't have time for pleasantries. I have a warrant here for Chilla's arrest. I mean to track her down and serve it.
Well, if she crossed over to Darkside, you're going to have some tough time doing it.
I was made to understand that you people have a way to get through.
Mandora, this is Linkso. It is his Braille board that guides us through the Forest of Mists and into Darkside.
All right, Linkso. Let's go.
Forgive me, Mandora, but making that trip is dangerous in the extreme.
Right. Wait until Chilla comes out, and then nab her.
Oh, no. She broke the interplanetary law, and she must be made to pay.
The law is the law. and the degree to which it is broken is not the point. I will accompany Mandora and use my portable braille.
She goes with Linkso, who is going to guide her through Darkside.
She said, I was led to believe you people can get through Darkside. So she has
Who you calling you people? Who you talking to you people? Who you talking to you? Who's you people?
And where is my takeout? That's all. Snarf's not even caring. That's right. You people are going to lead us. And Lion-O's like, well, Linkso is just about to eat and we have no time. And he goes, no, Lion-O, the law is the law or something like that. And he has to go with us.
And then that Mandora loves that, though. He's like, no matter how small or how big the crime is, the law is the law.
Law is the law, and the degree in which it is broken is not the point. Okay. So we go into Darkside. Linkso is going to Darkside, and he's like, I'm going to bring my portable braille board.
He's actually in control of the electrocharger right now. And then you have Luna, who tells Chilla to go off to the side, and when they come to get you, have them chase you, and then we're gonna trap them.
You will set up the paper mache volcano trap.
Oh yeah, I wrote. You know what I wrote? I said, does Luna normally have a fourth fake volcano made of backdrops from the MGM studio?
The Muppet Tour.
Ahead, you should be able to see the jagged peaks of 3 volcanoes.
You're wrong, Linkso. There are 4.
That can't be. There were only 3 on our last trip.
Chilla is heading right into the closest volcano. She'll pull up at the last minute, hoping I'll follow and crash. Ha! She must think I'm still wet behind the ears.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Now!
She's going to pull straight up. Now. Why, she's disappeared into the side of the volcano. If she can do it, so can we.
So you have this chase. Mandora doesn't believe it, but then they go through the cave, and Linkso gets her through safely. And then she's like, three, and she's like, "You're crazy.
You're
there's
wrong.
4. Bob. What's wrong with you, Thundercat? You people. There's 4. So
you really are blind."
They chase Chilla, and they get trapped. And you see that Sky Tomb is behind this 4th fake volcano.
Volcano. Alaro. The next thing we see is Sky Tomb. Mandora is locked up, evidently. We have Luna, we have Aloro, and we have Linkso inside of an Iron Maiden. Is that what they're called? It's like...
So Mandora is locked up in a cage while Vulture Man is watching her. He's casually eating stuff and reading a newspaper.
First off, Vulture Man, then now is he just back again? Like he's like, I work for them. I work with them sometimes.
Maybe
so
that's his side hustle. That's his side hustle. He makes a couple extra bucks on the side, and maybe they appreciate him more, or at least they pretend they appreciate him more. Or maybe Chilla froze him.
He looked a little too relaxed. Like you said, he has a newspaper. And she's like, Vulture Man, how dare you lock me up in this place?
Do you know what
penile planet
the penalty is for locking up an officer of the court? Or whatever she's oh my god.
You are in serious trouble, Vulture Man. Do you know the penalty for holding an officer against her will? 20 years to life on the penal planet.
Oh, no kidding. Well, it looks to me like you're the one doing time. They're letting Linkso have it right now. Your turn will be next. What do you want, Red Eye?
Just thought I'd have a little fun with my pacifier on the evil chaser here. Luna thinks she may know how to get the braille board back, too.
Good idea. Give her a couple of shots for me.
Nothing would make me happier, Vulture Man.
Then you have them who they put Linkso into this machine that's supposed to, because they want his braille board. She presses a button on the braille board, and the braille board disappears.
What if I press this big button here? She says.
Yeah. Chilla's was it Chilla that said, I don't think you should do that, baby. You should just not. If you don't know what you're doing, she's like, I know what I'm doing.
I wonder what would happen if I touch this big button at the end of the line. What's happening? They've all gone but one.
Maybe you better not touch anything else until we get an expert.
I'm the expert. I'll push this button if I want to. Where did it go?
So then Linkso says it comes from his mind. So his mind is what control. And she's like, well, you will then, re-manifest this in your mind and give me this braille board.
Linkso, the braille board disappeared into thin air. Where did it go?
Right back where it came from. In here.
Are you telling me what I was holding in my hands was an idea?
Correct.
All right, let's see it. Make it appear right now.
Oh, I'm sorry, but my ideas don't work in evil company.
Oh, yes, they will, or a muck will pull them out of your head with his bare hands.
Ah, Luna. Why not attach the skull scope to his head and look in?
That's not a bad idea. Set it up, Aloro.
Put him into a machine that looks like... So again, going back to, if anybody knows the Silverhawks, we know that Monstar, when he turns into Monstar, he gets spikes on his
Mumm-Ra?
head. He gets spikes that come out of his head.
Yes.
And it looks like and that's kind of what the mask looked like that they put over Linkso's.
What is it? The might, the muscle, or something? Yeah.
Give me the might, the muscle, the menace of Monstar.
Give me the might, the muscle, the menace of Monstar.
I love
Another
that.
creepy looking villain. But...
Moonstar of Limbo. That's what he says.
Here we go into limbo. But it's creepy looking. It actually looks like a weird machine, almost like, and Aloro goes, it might fry his mind.
It also looks like
Scooby-Doo in the cool
No,
school.
what is that character from either He-Man or She-Ra that he has like a purple head that's all spiked?
Oh, Spikor or something, yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like him too. So anyway, they cannot extract this from him. In the meantime, Aloro comes in with what he calls the Red Eye comes in with what he calls the pacifier.
The pacifier. It's a long
Which, if
ball.
anybody knows what a pacifier is, it is, well, you can pacify somebody by appeasing them, but a pacifier is something that you give a child to chew on
it's like pacify you, right? Isn't that?
Yeah.
Red Eye is facing Vulture Man, and Mandora just grabs the pacifier through the gate, and she blasts them with the pacifier.
Oh, she goes on a rage. First of all, very impressed with Mandora. So Mandora gets this pacifier. She zaps Red Eye. She frees herself. She goes after Vultureman, and then she goes for Chilla and Luna.
But she also breaks that chair open, too, because they see a projection, and Loro's like, it's gonna fry his brain, because there's smoke coming out of the machine, and we see these two eye projection, and they see a shadow. And Luna's like, that shape looks familiar. If I didn't know any better, Mandora! And she screams, it's Mandora.
Luna, look! Something's coming up on the screen.
At last! What is it?
It's hard to tell.
The shape looks familiar. Who is Linkso thinking of? If I didn't know better, I'd think it was Mandora!
And what does Mandora do? She uses the pacifier. She hits that machine. She just randomly hits these machines, too.
She's zapping everything. She's breaking dishes up in here.
But how did she know that wasn't going to kill Linkso attached to his head?
I don't know. So then she goes to Luna, where is Chilla? And she goes, you can have her.
Yeah!
In fact, she's right behind this tunnel.
How would Linkso go into a
like a torpedo chamber?
I want that criminal sideswiping cup freezer, and I want her now.
Take her! She's worthless to me! She's hiding behind that hatch!
Let's wrap this up and get on home.
We did it! We did it! We got that dumb flatfoot!
Yeah. And they shoot them out into space, and they're
Luna
spinning.
does say before, though, did you see? She says she's the law here in Darkseid, and Mandora says, no, there's only two, good
and evil is the law.
I've forgotten what she did in this episode, so maybe because I block out traumatic things in my life. I thought she was just gonna give Chilla up and like, yeah, take her. She's like, she's worthless to me.
She kind of does. I mean, I don't know what happens
like,
at the end.
Did her true feelings come out? Then finally, Lion-O gets the emergency call from the Sword of Omens. Finally,
Luna says again, we got that Flatfoot taker. Lion-O says he's going to use the Sword of Omens to bring them down, right? So he does thunder, Thundercats ho, and Linkso's like, the sword's projection or bubble is bringing us down. Okay.
He feels it.
Sure.
He feels it.
Sure.
Linkso and Mandora. They'll be smashed to pieces in that thing, Snarf. And I don't even have time to summon the other Thundercats.
You have to do something, Lion-O.
But Luna says they will basically be floating in space for all time, just floating around third Earth.
Imagine those two with Mandora.
Well, they'd be dead after a little while.
Because she'd be going, this is illegal. This is illegal.
This is unacceptable. This is against every intergalactic law.
Oh my god. So somehow they get back into the Tower of Omens, and she says, this is unacceptable. Because Snarf's like something like, is it time? No, he doesn't say it's the time to eat, but he says, oh, welcome back. And then she says to him, got no time for you either, Snarf. The law is the law. We're going back to Darkside, because I have to arrest Chilla. We just came from there.
Are you okay? That was some kind of...
I don't have time to stand around and jaw, Snarf. I came for Chilla, and it's Chilla I'm going to get.
Gee, Mandora, you must be the most obstinate cop I ever met.
You betcha, Thundercat. Now, are you going to give me a ride to Sky Tomb, or do I have to requisition you?
Fire up the Thunderstrike, Snarf. And let's show how we cooperate with the law around here.
So I want to say that I was impressed with Mandora's skill because it takes all the Thundercats to take on the Lunatics, it seems like, and she was able to subdue them all. She was on that pacifier.
And she kept it, did you notice? She took it all the way back with her in the feline.
I'd be keeping it.
But Lion-O goes, geez, Mandora, you're the most obstinate cop I ever met. How many other cops has Lion-O met, by the way? She goes, you betcha, Thundercat. Not Lion-O. Whatever. She don't even associate with you. How is it that they're able to... She's like, just park right here on the side and I'm going to sneak in. Okay, well, she does it. Mandora goes in and Chilla's outside by her car.
Going through her purse, looking, trying to still see if she's like, do I have my license? Do I... What if this happens again?
Oh, she's like, oh, that's my vape machine. Got my vape. So she comes with the pacifier and she's like, you're under arrest. And Chilla's just shocked, but she handcuffs her and she's like, drink this. And she's like, what's this? Antifreeze.
Chilla, you are hereby under arrest.
What? Are you out of your mind? I'll freeze you both into a block of ice. I can't go on. I've got no more ice.
Before we get underway, I want you to drink this, Chilla.
What is it?
Antifreeze.
Thundercats. Do you think she actually drank that, or did she have to force it down her throat?
I don't know. Then you have Snarfer making a funny joke about the food being chilled or something.
Sorry, it's chilled.
Now, you couldn't just go as the Thundercats just couldn't go to the village and have a little outing.
Yeah, that would have been nice, actually. A little
go
picnic
to
at
the
Robert Roberto's.
Yeah.
Robert Roberto's is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life, though.
There's that.
I feel we should have given you more help, Mandora. Was it a difficult arrest?
A piece of cake. Chilla's in custody as we speak.
That Mandora's one tough cop. She always gets her man, no matter what the crime, large or small.
Thundering traffic ticket!
What's the matter with you, Snarfer?
I left my ship double parked on the hangar ramp.
Honestly, for the sheer craziness of this episode, I would give it a 5, but I can't. I would.
I just told you I thought it was a jump the shark You're gonna give it a 5?
Okay, so if you're going on humor, 5. Humor is a 5.
Yes, it's funny. It's like a parody. It's like ThunderCats. What I assume ThunderCats roar once we watch it is going to
that's
be like
a perfect example. Yes.
And no offense to whoever wrote it, because
I did look that up.
Okay, who is it?
This episode was written by William Overgard, and the episodes, this may explain why Mandora was here. His first episode was in season 10, Mandora the Evil Chaser, The Fireballs of Plundar, Mandora and the Pirates, Dr. Dome Tome, The Thunder Cutter, Sword in a Hole, Sideswiped, and then he writes like 5 episodes in the future. It's like here or there with him. I mean, he's been here since season 1, clearly with the Fireballs of Plundar, Mandora.
I mean, I guess the reason why the episode doesn't work for me is the premise that it's so foreign to this planet and this universe to have like the term Mexican food. Like there's never a term used like, yes, they might say tea, they might say soup.
Yes.
They've never said like, I made hamburgers today, Lion-O, or
applesauce. You're right. It's very basic.
Very
Applesauce,
very specific cultural delicacies or any kind. And like, it's so off kilter. And it's so funny because at the same time, Chilla's reaction is very much like most of us would be if we got pulled over by a police officer.
Yeah.
Especially if you didn't have your license.
That's kind of, to me, very Masters of the Universe.
It's very funny. It's very fun. I don't see that. I don't know. I don't see that. I think it's just funny.
You don't even see them doing something silly like that, like, ooh.
No, it's not. It's not on brand, and that's the reason why for me it doesn't work.
Not Mexican takeout, but I could see Masters of the Universe doing something like, I didn't have my ID, or something like that, like, oh no, here's my library card.
Yeah.
Dun dun, or something like that. But, we haven't mentioned the Hear the Roar book from David Crichton in a while, but I said, you know what, David, we have to go back to this. We've got to see what they say about this. So the review by David Crichton is 1.5.
Ooh!
Ranking among the very poorest episodes of ThunderCats is almost without redemption. And he states that it's a step too far away from the confines of the series, and then other bizarre, installments. The script editor's commentary from Peter Lawrence, who worked on so much of ThunderCats, and I'm going to paraphrase it because we want you to read David Crichton's book, but basically, in season 1, he had a lot of control in season 1, and his memory isn't as reliable with season 2. And he says he knows the first season characters and locations far more better. He thinks perhaps he was so far into writing Silverhawks at this time that he wasn't as with, like you said, Silverhawks, as developing season 2. So when this script happens, so he says, it's a strange combo of Will's wider ideas, such as inclusions of Mexican food and the plot involving the lunatics, but it also reflects our direction to reuse characters in whom the show and the animators were familiar with. But nevertheless, Bill couldn't help himself. So he said the Braille board being a mental thing too is kind of out there. And then he says, on a personal note, we simply had too many characters, particularly too many heroes. I'm sure this was the result of the concept of LJN pressure. I firmly believe that it's impossible to wield this many heroes convincingly, at least in a dramatic term, and do justice to their personalities and abilities. I had this problem even when we had the core group and was always looking for a way to drop 1 or 2 off on a paid vacation. This is funny because he's even saying these heroes, there's too many ThunderCats even in the first season that they didn't know what to do with.
I always love when you reference the book because it is such a great reference and tool and really the encyclopedia of ThunderCats. So I did not know that he had written this, and I did not know about Silverhawks. It came to me because I did watch Silverhawks. And there is a character in Silverhawks that has a cowboy hat that I believe, if I remember, was flipping burgers at one point in, I don't know if that's in the opening credits or something, but I remember that. So he's like a cowboy. So there's that. The head of Monstar, which would be the thing that was on Linkso's head. So yeah, but the thing is that the ThunderCats does mesh modern with I don't know what I'm not going to say
medieval almost.
Medieval
like
kind of,
sorcery.
and things like that. But I don't know. It was just too far into like reality.
Well, when you name Mexican takeout, it's not even, we're going to the Burbles to get
Carne asada.
Yeah,
just say carne asada.
Doritos Locos.
Do I think that this episode is like a defining moment as far as messing up the series? No. But do I think that I forgot about this episode?
And you wanted to?
In a way, I guess. But at the same time, it is what it is. But it's literally like
a parody.
It's a parody. It's like this episode did not really, there's no cohesion. There's not, it's just not there. It's just not there.
The plot started with Mexican takeout and it went from there. So that just tells
you. Mandora was great, the whole thing. And even honestly, if you would have taken out the Mexican food takeout and the obviously, how do I say it? I don't think it's racist, but like, the Roberto was like a little bit, if you would have taken that out and maybe Chilla just got pulled over by Mandora, I would have sort of worked. And the idea of his braille board,
that I don't know.
I don't know if I'm against it or for it because he uses his mind in such a way.
Yeah, but the fact that they built this, he built this with Panthro, he said.
But that's not the portable one. The portable one is what he has. The portable one is from his mind, I guess. I don't know. But then there's a point where they say they loaded the portable one into the
Yes.
Okay, so that messed up. All right, forget it. Forget what I said then.
We have one last thing to do, David. Who is our biggest bungler?
You are a worthless, bungling idiots! Bunglers! You bungler! Once again, you have failed. You bungled it!
Okay, Day of Decay, Mumm-Ra, for casting a curse/spell that was too narrow-minded, not looking at the big picture, and too out of touch.
Your sleep spell was really a great idea.
To me, that's what it was.
He could have even tormented them, like you said, even on the ground. Like he could have walked past them every day and going, you're sleeping, ThunderCats, and spit on them if he wanted to or something, you know.
Or fed them to the shark or whatever, or put them in his pyramid.
No, I think he really would have loved just to torment them. Lion-O. So, yeah, honestly, because Lion-O went to Mumm-Ra, he knew it could only be him. He went fast, so they really did. They were up on it. And Chitara and Tiger really were up on it too, trying to keep as much as they could. So yes, I agree. Mumm-Ra, Bungler. Okay, so what about Sideswipe?
The writer.
William Overgard.
Is people going to hate me for saying that?
I don't think so.
So the episode, in the sense, the premise of it, really liked it. I love Mandora's character because and the fact that he empowered her to take on all the lunatics, I thought was actually, I got excited at the end. I'm like, yeah, she's kicking ass.
She could just do it by herself, like you said earlier. Yeah.
To me, she's a very powerful character. So I love that part of it. And to me, if this was a comedy off episode, like it was presented as, we pulled this from the MGM vault. The original was supposed to air in October of 1987, but it was taken because it was deemed to be too comical in the series. But now we're going to present it to you now. Would have loved that, but it didn't work for me in the premise of the whole show. So bungled, the character bungle, I don't really think there was a character bungle because...
what about Snarfer for going in space to fly over Darkseid?
I'm going to blame Roberto now.
Roberto.
No, I'm honestly saying, and this is the first time I'm going to say this, bungled writing. And I'm only going to say it because of the fact that it was completely off-brand. And it was so off-brand that it was actually, it's like breaking the fourth wall. You now realize that you were not on Third Earth, that you're really on the planet Earth watching a cartoon, because it really was too realistic in life, and it was too mundane in that way.
I mean, we have to face real life now, David.
I would be really, really interested in the bunglers and what their reaction is. Don't send hate mail to me, just to Ryan if you think I'm
Well,
bad.
you might be getting the password since the day of the eclipse is happening. So, David, look out for our upcoming mail bonus episode, MALE, like David said, and that other bonus episode we are working on. Honestly, this was hysterical, and I do agree. I want to hear the Bunglers because I could hear all of them talking already about
How many hoes are you giving this episode, Ryan?
I really do want to say 5 for comedy, like almost like the book, 1.5. How about a 2 because of the Mandora pacifier action? I'll give it an additional point.
I'm going to abstain from giving it anything.
You're not even hoeing it up.
No, I'm going to say comedy-wise, it made me literally laugh. So if it was an offbeat comedy, I would be a 5 for it because it was funny the way the cop pulling me over and her looking for her purse. That made me want to wanted me to spit out my Trader Joe's water. So that, but as far as being on brand and no, I would go with a 1.5 to 2. If that wasn't there, if the Mexican food thing wasn't the Robert Roberto and it was just Mandora, I would have given the episode overall 4 hoes. Only because I loved the action that Mandora was really kicking ass, and I thought that this was full circle with this character because I kind of got tired of her hiding behind the badge. Like she never really did much. Lion-O did a lot of help for her.
She busts her around.
And Pickpocket, the
Quick Pick,
Quick Pick, he did a lot of the work too. I didn't feel like she did a lot. So this showed that she could be a standalone character and very powerful. So that.
Oh, did she bring home a takeout to Quick Pick? Because the two of them work together, I feel like, on that penile planet, that gray penile planet. So, David, I love that. You said it the perfect way. I think it's like ThunderCats Roar before ThunderCats Roar. I don't remember them doing Mexican takeout, though, in ThunderCats Roar. I'll have to, when we get to that.
That would be funny if someone made a reference to that, because that would have been like almost like in your face funny, because people would be like, how dare they? And then you're like, wait a minute, that was an actual ThunderCats episode from the original series.
They did try to follow a lot of the original plots, which people thought was a cop-out too. But I do remember a lot of Burbles, though, making like shops and things like that, buying technology from Burbles. So, Bunglers, let us know what you thought about this. As always, you could reach David at Universal Appeal 2020, all one word, as well as the Radical Retro Rewind podcast, one word, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and beyond. Thank you again. We will see you in 2 weeks with, I want to say, the return of Mumm-Ra, the return of Mumm-Ra.
Does she go out for Mexican takeout and never come back?
Oh my god.
Does she drink does she drink some Mexican drinking water?
Trader Joe's no, she goes off to college to finish her degree, possibly. Because I really feel like after this episode, Mumm-Ra just disappears like Judy from Family Matters. And she went up the stairs and never came down again. She went up that tower and you will never see her again. Well, it seems like it's time to say that famous line that we say every week, and that is, ThunderCats, ho!
Are you calling me a hoe because I went out for Mexican takeout?
I am, and you don't have a license.
Who you calling a hoe?
Every now and then it falls apart. Every now and then it falls apart. And I need it now, tonight. And I need the moon more than ever. And if the curse starts tonight, I'll be rid of the ThunderCats forever. And I'll only be bungling it right.
You bungler!
'Cause the HOA is forever. Together, we'll take it to the end of the line. This curse is like a shadow on them all of the time. They won't know what to do. They'll always be in the dark, like living in my pyramid and getting off no sparks. The day of decay starts tonight. The day of decay starts tonight. The day of decay starts till once upon a time I had cats in my life. But now the lair is falling apart, Mamat. There's nothing they can do. The day of decay starts tonight. Once upon a time I had cats in my life. But now the lair is falling apart. There's nothing they can say. The day of decay starts tonight. The day of decay starts tonight.